It's a Monday night. Bakalava.
That's
Hell
got to
yeah.
be the greatest intro ever.
It really does.
Yeah, I like how it cuts to the Italiano dishes.
Yeah. We had to put something like that together, though, for this special occasion. It's 10 p.m. on a Monday, so that means it's Uncle Bill's tour of Italy. And
Yeah.
tonight we are going to stop at, well, I guess he's like a prodigy, right? Like he's a third generation.
Yeah.
So this is the Lamberto Bava discussion. Good to have everybody here. On
man.
my right, of course, is Evil Dead chick Daner. How you doing, Daner Lynn?
Good.
And on directly beneath me here is Subjective Perspective Collective. Dirk, how you doing, man?
Yeah, man. Doing good. It's starting to heat up down here in the swamplands.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. It's like heating up here, so I can only imagine what it's like there.
Right.
But I'm pretty excited about this one because I haven't seen a lot of these films in a long time. And I went back and watched the majority of his catalog and actually found myself liking these films a lot more than I remembered, like from the time I watched them before. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's where I was paying a lot of attention to them or what it was, but there's some good films in this.
It kind of grows on you like a damn fungus, you know.
It does. It really does. So we got a bunch of people in here right now. We've got, let's see, Artificial Flavor, which I've never seen before. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah.
Twisted Trucker, good to have you in as usual. Business of Fear, Crash 517, Waldo, Sent a Murderum in Birmingham. Texas is in here. Blissful's in here. Rob's in here, but he's not gonna stay. Damn it, Rob. The mayor. Punisher Batman fan. Darren's in here. All kinds of people are in here. So I guess to start though, like Bava, Mario Bava was never a guy that I watched a lot of his films. I don't know why. It's just like that time period escaped me for some reason and his movies kind of escaped me. And I'm not sure. I've actually seen a lot more of Lamberto's movies than I have Mario Bava's movies. I don't know why.
I've dove and I fell in love with Mario Bava's films. There's not one film by him that I like everything he's done. There's not one film that I could say that I didn't like from him. And I can't say that for Fulci or Argento or Martino or, or Lamberto Bava, But I know this ain't about Mario, but I'm just saying he is a genre creator.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say, and you're right. It's not a show about him per se, but like without him, then we wouldn't really be talking about any of this stuff because,
right. Yeah,
because he kind of created like a blueprint for a lot of this as well.
Yeah, man.
And for the people that don't know, Lamberto Bava is of course Mario Bava's son, and he was essentially, when I was talking about Bruno Mattei kind of came from nowhere. He kind of worked his way up. He was an editor and he worked his way into making films. But, with Lamberto Bava, like he was kind of destined to be in the business, so to speak. And his dad really helped him get into the business too. So
and Mario's dad too, so helped him. So
yeah, there's 3 generations of the Bavas that go all the way back to I think the 20s or something crazy like that. Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, they're Italian kind of royalty when it comes to films.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about this before the show started, Dirk, but really things really get started. I mean, before he's actually directing films on his own, he's like working with his dad, of course, and he's working with Argento a lot too. So
yeah, he's like the second director, the assistant director for Argento. Like, like that underwater scene in Inferno. That's Lamberto, man. That is an amazing scene. That's just one I could think of that just really blows my mind.
Yeah, that's possibly my favorite scene in any Argento film. Like I know Inferno itself is not a great film, but that scene
Right.
is like right up there with some of my favorite scenes. But Dana, like, what do you remember about your early experiences with Bava? Either one of them, for that matter.
Well, I mean, everybody knows what I think of Barbara Steele, and Dirk's probably gonna laugh because he just met her. So, and he had a very good
I
experience
did,
with her.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, she thought Dirk was hot. I think she
It was
said.
crazy, man. And I thought it was at first I thought she was just being nice. She was like, "Oh, you look good," you know. And I was like, "Okay." Well,
What?
and then I got her autograph, and then I came back the next day and got a picture with her, and she said it like several more times, like that. I was like, "What in the hell?" And she was just so happy, you know. I was like, "What?"
That is a complete 180 from what when I met her. Like I didn't ever meet her, but I remember some shows that she was at. It was like you kind of like were scared of her, you know.
Yeah.
Steve met her at that one show where everybody was saying she looked grumpy as hell the whole time and didn't take her sunglasses off the whole time,
That's
and
the
she
way I
just kind
remember
of
it. Yeah,
sat there going,
yeah.
and,
Yeah, I had a great experience with her, man.
Well, I'm glad. Maybe she lightened up, or
And
maybe
she's 86,
uh,
man. You know,
yeah, yeah.
86 years old, and she had it together pretty good. I was
yeah.
really surprised.
Well,
Because I mentioned to her, I didn't come to her and talk about Black Sunday. I came to her and talked to her about an angel for Satan, and she
Oh, so
lit up like a Christmas tree when I mentioned that movie. So,
by
but
the way, that is a pro note for a lot of folks. Like, don't ever mention the movie to these people that's like their most famous film because
right,
they've heard those stories like 8
they've
million
heard
times.
you
Yeah.
don't
everything.
want to go there. Yeah,
Yeah. But I think I need to give Mario Bava some more of my watching time because I think he needs a little more time for his movies to grow on me a little bit.
yeah.
So I guess I've been more of a fan of Lamberto than Mario, historically speaking, as far as watching films and stuff. Because I think because I started out watching stuff like Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci and stuff like that. And if you try to compare Argento and Fulci with Mario Bava, it's just not going to work. But if
Yeah.
you try to
No.
compare them or group them together with Lamberto's films, it's a whole different thing. I think Lamberto's films are a lot more similar to Fulci or
Oh
Argento
yeah,
than
because
than
Bava don't
Mario's
have
would be.
near the sleaze, you know. I mean, he has a little bit, but not near. I mean, his probably sleaziest film, and you can't even tell it's a Mario Bava film. It's Rabid Dogs. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but
I have, yeah.
yeah, that's pretty sleazy. But
You want to talk about sleazy though? Wait till we get into Delirium. I was
oh
like,
yeah,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ! Like
right,
every 2 minutes,
Yeah,
there's somebody taking their clothes off, something happening like sexual in that movie.
right.
Um,
Serena
not
Grande.
grande indeed. So,
mm.
so let's see. There's a bunch of other people that have joined in here too. Ken, it's good to see you. The mayor says, yeah, we were going to mention this too. Wasn't Bava's film Shock finished by Lamberto?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
we were talking about that. Like that, he was sick, I'm pretty sure, while he was making that film. And so there's the idea that he was either really sick or he was just feigning some of the sickness so that Lamberto could direct parts of the movie. It depends on like who you ask, but regardless, yes, Lamberto Bava directed like at least half of
Right.
Shock.
Yeah,
And for the people that haven't seen Shock, that's a good one too.
I
I
think it
hadn't,
is too. A
yeah,
lot of people shit on it
Mhm.
though, and I
yeah.
don't know what's going on, but I kind of dig it.
We watched that one not too long ago, and I think Wes got it for review as well not too long ago.
Yeah,
But that's kind of like that represents kind of the beginning of him actually directing and things like that. Like actually taking over the director's chair.
right.
But his first full length
Right.
feature that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to type it in here just so we can keep track of what we're talking about. Is this Jim? I love this movie.
Me too.
I can't even like stress enough how crazy this movie is. But 1980s, however you want to say it, I say macabre. Some people say like macabre. Yeah.
And then you got Frozen Terror. Is
yeah, the other title. Yeah.
So oddly enough, this is based on a true story that Lamberto Bava heard about in the United States, of course.
Yeah.
About a woman who the true story was this woman kind of like lost her partner. He died, and she decided to pull an Ed Gein and keep him around.
Yeah.
And just
pleasure herself.
Yeah. So this is basically a documentary about that.
Down in New Orleans. I know a lot of people say New Orleans or New Orleans, but New Orleans is where this happened at too, But
this movie though, it starts off so the lead in the film, you can already tell, number one, she's a horrible mother. Number two, she's a horrible partner. She's cheating on her husband, and she's leaving her daughter and her son basically with like the gardener or something like that to watch them, so she can run off and having an affair with this guy. And in an awesome scene that really needs to be like watched by everybody, they're driving along because something happens to the son, and they're trying to get back to the house, and they run into a guardrail, and he gets in like his face impaled by like a part of the guardrail, which is a really cool scene actually. Like the way that it's shot and everything is great.
Right.
And then from that point on, it kind of goes from that to she gets out of a mental hospital. She goes back to this apartment where this blind man lives, and he's kind of the caretaker. Why is there always a blind dude in a lot of these Italian films? It's just like the plot device, right? So they can't like cat of nine tails and things like that. Like there's a blind dude that can't ever see really what's going on, so that keeps
all he can do is hear it.
Yeah, the tension and stuff going, I guess. And you don't really know what she's doing up until the very end of the movie, and I'll let you guys take over from that point about any thoughts that you have.
Well, I'm like Uncle Bill, though. I always have liked this film, but I'm thinking back as he was talking. I was thinking back to the very first time I ever saw this movie.
Oh my God!
And I was like, "Holy crap! What in the world did I get myself into?" But it was like one of those things where no matter how crazy it got, you just could not turn away from this movie. There was no way. This movie had you trapped.
Yes.
At a certain point, near the beginning of the film, it had you trapped, and there was no going back. But I still like it. And, like I would say every few months, I like to pull this one off my movie shelf and watch it, just because there's so much rewatchability for it. Even once you know what's going on, you can still go back and rewatch it and still enjoy it. But I just want to talk about the little girl she's not real little.
Right.
That has got to be one of the most sadistic children ever put on film. I know the mother was a terrible mother, but
she's that's her only film too, I think.
Yeah.
From what I found out.
Yeah.
Veronica Zini. I think it's her name.
She's really good in this movie too.
Yes,
like, being a shitty little kid. Yeah.
I think she's a standout for sure. And I don't know, do y'all ever notice what's in the room though? It's like she's got like some voodoo type shit.
I hadn't noticed that. I didn't notice.
It takes place in New Orleans, and what especially what happens at the very end too. So
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about that. I listen.
So
I
this
completely forgot about that, but yeah.
it kind of adds a layer to the movie though. So is he like, you can't see just like the blind man can't see, So is he
Right.
coming alive like with her? You know what I mean? Because of his voodoo shit.
Listen, to me, this movie was like an 8 until that final scene, and it was a 10. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
Like it just took it over the top. I was like, "Yeah, that does it for me." But yeah, so you've got. I actually think that Bernice Stegers, I think's her name, Stegers, who's the main lead, the Jane character in this, is great too. Like playing like just a horrible all around person.
Yeah.
As is one of my favorite names for any actor of all time. I'm going to mention it a bunch because he is in 2 of these movies. Stanko Molnar.
Yeah, no shit. Stanko.
Old Stanko is
And she was in a Fellini movie, City of Women.
that makes sense actually, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I mean she does a really good job
Yeah.
in this one. But just so you're kind of going through it. It gets slow in spots when there's really not anything going on except for Stanko is trying to figure out like what she's up to. Because he's blind, so he doesn't know. Like he keeps hearing her making out with somebody, but he doesn't know what's going on. And he keeps trying to kind of like be with her. I think like he wants to be the love interest or whatever.
Right.
So as all this is going on, he slowly starts to suspect that there's like craziness, like some sort of craziness happening, but he can't exactly like see what's going on. So he ends up misdirecting her and then getting into her room where he finally finds like the dude's severed head in like a freezer that she's been making out with the entire
She
time.
keeps it locked up too,
Yeah, it's like a padlock. Yeah. And then so once this all happens, the little girl, this part, there's so many fucked up parts of this movie I don't even really know where to like begin and end. But so that happens, the little girl finds out, like her daughter finds out about the head and all that it's going on, and she's like, okay,
she loves torturing her mother.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's like, we're gonna have you guys like a dinner, and you know what's gonna happen. As soon as that damn dinner scene comes around, like you knew exactly what was gonna happen. So the daughter like cooks up part of the guy's ear and feeds it to the mother. and then the mother is just kind of like, she kind of snaps and finally goes after the daughter and tries to kill her. But old Stanko.
Yeah, because she finds out what Lucy, what she did to her little brother.
Yeah. That was kind of the tipping point. Because
right.
like she finally like she tells her like what happened and everything
right.
at the beginning of the film. But I think the scene that we can all agree is just the masterpiece fucking scene in this movie is you
can tell this is his directorial debut though. I think. Can you? I mean,
it's a very simple movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it almost could be like a play. It takes place in like one location almost entirely. Right?
Right.
And I mean it's very basic. But so there's something about it. I think it's the performances actually that kind of make it as good as it is. But at the end, I don't even know if I want to say what happens, because if anybody hasn't seen this movie, you almost need to fucking see it.
Right. Yeah.
It's so insane.
Okay, so we're not going to spoil nothing then.
Yeah, well,
but we don't. I wouldn't know because that's shit. That shit's great.
Yeah. Just to encourage everybody out there to go see this movie, even more so, like there is a batshit, almost up there with Rats, not tear, like crazy ass ending to this movie. I think it might be. It's kind of reminded me of Pieces too.
Yeah, but I think it's better than Pieces. The end of Pieces.
Really?
I'll just say that.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
know.
I was thinking the same thing, Dirk. I'm like,
I'm partial to pieces.
I mean, I love pieces, but what happens in this is just so
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
I can see it.
yeah.
But
Yeah, it's completely out of left field too. It has no bearing whatsoever on anything going on in the movie, really.
so
Up to that point.
I was looking at an interview with Lamberto Bava, and so when he was making this film, his dad Mario was like, he said he didn't want to influence him on his first film, and he didn't want to see it until it was finished. So Mario went to the theater and watched it, and when he come out, he said, "Now I can die in peace."
Wow.
And then he died 2 months later. So, but it was like a joke. Like Mario was like that, you know.
Yeah.
But Lamberto was mentioning that. I was like, damn, that's kind of. He said it sticks with him though. He always.
I would imagine. Yeah.
You always remember that. So, but now his son made a movie. He can die in peace.
He made a hell of a movie too.
Yeah,
I wonder.
I wonder what Mario thought though.
Like, yeah, at the end of that movie, I wonder what he was thinking. Like,
but I mean, hell, he's made some crazy shit too. Now, have you seen Lisa and the Devil?
I haven't actually seen that one. On.
Oh, I saw that recently with Steve. Steve was watching it, of course.
Right.
And I did see it. It wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah, it's pretty out there, ambiguous as hell.
But like I said, I love this movie. I'd probably recommend it to anybody that has any interest in Italian like films or anything like that. It's like it's got a number of like disturbing scenes, and the ending is just perfect for a movie like this.
Yeah.
So Pops dropped in though. How you doing, Pops? Pops Movie Dungeon's in here.
Yeah, man.
Maggot Fingers is in here, bulls. That's good.
Oh.
And we got all kinds of other people in here too. Jackson Jack says that he had, and I had this too, and I was trying to find it. The 3-pack that has Macabre, A Blade in the Dark, and something else on it.
I've got a 2-pack on.
I had that one too. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I wonder what the VS release on Blade in the Dark, how that's gonna go.
I'm gonna get that now because after going back and watching this, you can't get anything right now because they got their partner label stuff up. But I tried to like buy it, and I was like, shit, I forgot. Like it's their partner month right now.
Right.
All right. So up next is, as a matter of fact, a great film.
Yeah. House of Dark Stairs.
No. I mean, that might be next, but that's definitely not what we're going to talk about.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I'm glad they went with the American title.
Yeah.
Blade in the Dark, 1983. Now this is more of like a traditional giallo film, I think.
Yeah.
It feels like an Argento film almost that he was making, you know, the early years of Argento and the Animal trilogy and all that. So,
oh yeah, you can definitely feel the Tenebrae vibes too. Like
yes.
One scene in particular. But
yeah. So I love this film because it's a weird kind of mix of like the Changeling and
oh man, it's
like a giallo. Yeah,
it's like all kind of shit thrown at the wall, man.
So you think, and I guess in a weird way, like this movie starts off with like a movie inside a movie. So right. you think that you think it's going to be like that. This is the actual film. It turns out that this director's making this film, and the guy's the composer, and he's composing the soundtrack, and he's living in this apartment, and she's trying to kind of basically set the tone for him to create like a soundtrack for a horror film. So she's kind of trying to freak him out.
Right.
In other words. But of course,
like, I'm trying to get you in the spirit of the film, spirit of the dark, and all this shit. There's some weird dialogue in this movie.
Yes,
it's the dubbing.
Yes.
It's got to be the dubbing. You
It's
know.
very
Oh yeah.
odd, especially like remember the scene where the girl comes over to swim or whatever, the
Yeah.
model, and like everything she says just seems completely like off somehow or another. Like so, it probably is the dubbing that they were doing that they were using
Yeah.
on
I
the
mean,
things.
I wrote some of that shit down where that woman's like, "All's well that finishes well."
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that got lost in translation. I feel like.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, man.
but this is a basic kind of giallo though, in the fact that like he's staying there, he's working on the soundtrack to this movie, and around him like all these people start to get murdered, and
He's trying to figure it out, right? He's
yeah,
doing
yeah,
the
he's
detective thing.
and there's a weird kind of throwback to like that De Palma film Blowout,
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
where if he gets the movie, like a certain frame of the movie will tell him who the killer is there towards
Right.
the end and
Yeah.
stuff too.
Yep.
So there's
It is.
all kinds of
And
shit.
I saw some things that were similar to Deep Red,
Oh
where
yeah,
Mark is playing music on the piano and the killer is right outside of where he's working on this music, and you can hear the killer saying things and a whisper and all
Right.
that. So there's a scene in A Blade in the Dark where it's kind of similar because he's playing music, and then when he goes back and plays the recording back, he notices that he can hear a voice saying things. Um,
We can't
so,
forget Bob
oh God,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
Bob.
from the beginning. Uh,
or
you're
the
a
end.
female. You're a female. You're
Dirk. That
Oh,
has to be some sort of like, because when I was watching, I was like, that has to be a language thing.
yeah.
right.
Because nobody just screams you're a female at somebody.
No.
You would scream like you're a girl or you're like a
Yeah.
something else, but like
You're a
you're a
puss.
female.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, just over and over and over again.
Yeah.
That's one of the funniest parts of the movie. And then the end too is like that final scene.
They
I was like,
speed it up and shit, and it's like,
Jesus
what?
Christ.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
man.
yeah, you're right though, Dan, and too there's a lot of influences. A lot of different films kind of are in this film. A lot of Argento stuff, just a lot of other stuff too.
In the bathroom scene alone, like I'm not gonna spoil it for nobody, but I get vibes of like Black Christmas,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
Texas Chainsaw, as far as the laughing and shit and carrying on. Like
Yeah,
sounds like
Mhm.
Leatherface in a way, but
yeah,
and then Psycho too,
yeah.
also Psycho,
Mhm.
big time.
I was thinking too, like Black Christmas, because we're the phone calls and stuff, and
Right.
also
Yeah.
there's just a lot in this movie
It's like
that's kind of
he took everything,
yeah.
you know, and
But
it's got a
no,
great score, man. The score is
I
awesome.
was getting ready to say, yeah, like he of course is like working on the score, but the score is actually the score of the film that we're watching too.
Yeah.
So like it is really great too. But no, Matt, we're not going to do spoilers like or anything like that, like talking about the main ending of the movie or anything. But um, it's it's great though. It's another one. Like every ending of his movies
Mhm.
that I've seen are insane. Like there's always something about them that are just like completely. You remember them; they're completely nuts. And
Right.
this one is no exception to that really.
What
Um,
about the damn spider? And the girl that just some girl just jumps out the closet and it's just like
Yeah.
normal to him, you know.
yeah,
That kind of throws me off. I'm like, he's not even surprised. Like it's just no big deal that this random chick's in my closet.
he
And
has to be the calmest dude
Yeah,
in the face of like murder that I've ever seen. Like,
right. And she's
yeah.
screaming about a spider, and he says, "No, it's a cockroach."
Yeah, I thought that was funny when he said
I was like, "What the shit is this?"
so there are at least I know two scenes where he finds like tons of blood like on him or in like parts of this house that he's staying at, and he's just like
And he
the
starts talking about
calmest
himself. Yeah,
yeah dude ever. he's trying to tell like his girlfriend or whatever, there's murders and shit going on in this house, and everybody's like, "You're crazy," but just the way that he does it too, like with no concern, really, like no,
Right. And he's all like, "I'm fascinated."
yeah, no desire to leave.
He's not going to tell the police because he hadn't found a body yet.
Right, but there's blood all over the place, but he's,
Yeah.
Did anybody else find his girlfriend to be extremely bitchy? Because I did.
Oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't stand her.
Yeah. And their dialogue was weird, too. He's talking about, you sitting there laying out in the sun like a frog. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
There's a lot in this film. Now that you mentioned it, I didn't even notice, but there's a lot of that in this film too.
This was originally supposed to be made for TV.
I could see it, yeah.
And it was supposed to be a kill at the end of each episode. And it was going to be a 4-part series, the 30-minute episodes. And but they said no, it's too violent. So they was like, just make it. They release it theatrically in Italy and shit. So yeah, it's too violent for Italian television, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's got one scene in particular that's a great scene.
Yeah,
but it's incredibly violent, and that's where, and I could see it coming too the first time I saw it, but like you don't know exactly how bad it's going to play out when you see it. So there's a scene where like it's just some random girl shows up that's supposed to be friends with somebody, and she goes swimming and shit and whatever. They just needed somebody to kill, and
big
goes
time
up,
vibes, man, with her hair, the way her hair looks and stuff. Yeah. I was like, damn.
She goes up there, and for some reason, I guess this is a thing where you wash your hair and shit after you, like in a sink after you go swimming. I just always took a shower, but I guess some people just wash their hair in a sink. And she puts her hand down like to pick up the shampoo, and then the killer like stabs her in the hand and then wraps like a paper, or not a paper, but a plastic bag around her head.
Yeah.
And as she's being like strangled with the bag, it pulls through the knife, like pulls through her hand, which is it. Yeah. That scene goes on way too long. Yeah.
Yeah. the webbing, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. It's just like you're watching it and you're like, damn, that is just, and it slowly like does it too.
Yeah.
Something about Italians and just the queasy factor that they put into how they do this stuff.
Yeah, man. It's great. It's awesome, man. Awesome kill.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great scene too. And then I'm trying to think like who ends up dying after that.
I'm sorry, I got to mention this other line where they're like, it sounds like a woman. They can hear shit up there. Yeah. I'm like, how the fuck did you figure that one out? Sounds like a woman, huh? Okay. Oh man.
Well, they just hear like random like shit banging around upstairs.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a trip. It's great though, really.
I forgot how great it was till I was rewatching it last night.
Yeah, these damn movies grow on you, man. They will.
I think the closest thing I could probably compare this movie to would be Tenebrae, though. For some reason, like it looks a lot like that movie. It plays out a lot like that movie. It's got a lot of similar kind of like cinematography and like death scenes and stuff in it too.
The girl in the damn mini skirt.
Yeah.
And she goes and hides behind some chicken wire.
Yeah. I thought that was great too. Like that. Say it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work out. No.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yes. It's typical Italian tropes too, like in these Italian movies where the girl's screaming and shit, and she just stays right there.
Yeah, right she there. doesn't really move or anything. She's just kind of there. Yeah. Trying to think of anything else notable about the film. I mean, the ending, of course, is notable, but not to give that away. And there have been other movies that have done the exact same kind of ending. I can think of a couple, like right off the top of my head. And even if when you're watching this movie, you'll probably figure the ending out. I'll put it to you that way. Like
Yeah.
as you're watching it, it becomes
Right.
pretty clear like what's going on.
Yeah. And you got Michele Suave in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays like the friend or whatever, the
Mhm.
guy that's going away. Yeah. Which I didn't realize that's who that was until about the end of the movie too.
Yeah, man.
It's got a great scene in it. I'll put it to you this way. I can't not talk about this scene. I won't give away any spoilers, but just this scene fucking cracked me up. So there's a scene towards the end of the movie where the killer is going crazy and like coming towards the lead, guy, and he just picks up a fucking brick and like knocks him like right
that's
there.
great.
It's like a fucking wrestling move or something. He's just running at him full speed and he just like grabs his brick and just it's
man.
like busting over his head. Yeah. The way it's filmed is hilarious too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh,
just great.
again, this is a completely different movie than Macabre, in my opinion. Like this is a movie like if you like the Argento,
Yeah.
Martino, all that kind of vibe of stuff, then you're bound to like this movie because it's as good as a lot of those movies, really, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I need to watch it in Italian though, I think, and just read the subs just to see what the difference is. Because I mean, I still crack up when I'm watching it, but it's a bit much. Some of it, some of those lines are just like, what's that shit? He says, I was gonna kill you. I could have killed you, and then he's like, I was gonna strangle you, and they're all happy.
Right.
Oh man. What else did he say? Something about drinking whiskey. This would be the time to drink some whiskey.
Yeah, I think, like you said, there's something about the way that the lines come off where it's pretty clear that like the
what was that thing that the first girl, the girl that was scared by the spider, and she just kind of hangs around and talks to him for a while, but did she or did she not say something about maybe musicians were good in bed or so? There was something that she said, but then I can't remember exactly what she said just after that, but it sounded weird. It was worded weird. She asked him I thought she was going to ask him, how are you in bed? And she didn't. It was some other way she phrased it, and I can't remember exactly how she said it now, but it was just very strange.
There's too much shit to keep up with in this movie, though, in terms of shit that's hilarious, like dialogue wise.
All right.
A couple people are asking if this one is worth getting in the new Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, I'm getting it like immediately.
I would say get it if you're a fan of Giallo. If you're a Giallo fan, get it. But
well, Matt,
I don't know. Maybe
Matt's a huge Giallo fan, so there's no way he's not going to like this movie. Like I'll just go ahead and tell it.
Yeah. I know he likes a lot of 70s stuff too.
Yeah, there's just no possible way.
Though, but.
And the mayor's saying too that the Vinegar Syndrome version has a couple of different cuts of the movie on there too, so that'll be interesting to see too. Yeah, like this one's great. The highest recommendation on this one too.
I wouldn't show this to somebody that's never seen a Giallo though. You know
no.
And I wouldn't show this to anybody nowadays who has any kind of like what would you say, like woke tendencies.
Yeah.
This probably will not work out well for you.
Wouldn't go over well.
Yeah.
But anyway, that being said, that was 1983's A Blade in the Dark, and that might have been the first. No, it wasn't either. The next one we're going to talk about is the first Bava film that I saw, and I probably saw it like way too early of a friggin' age too. Now that I think about it, but the next one we're going to talk about is a classic in all senses of the word, and everybody that's pretty much, even if you're not a fan of Italian horror films, most people have seen this movie. Most horror fans have seen this movie.
Yeah.
And that is 1985's Demons. which this is his breakout film. I mean, it really is
Mhm.
his.
Yeah, this is his probably his best film in my opinion.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
it,
to be honest, I mean,
it's a kind of a classic, like just in any for anybody in any genre. I put this up there with a lot of other great films like Fulci's, Fulci Zombie or Argento's, um, well, any of Argento's kind of later stuff.
Mhm.
Um, it's a classic. And it to me, I was thinking about like, why is this movie so great? And the main reason that it's great is because it's like kind of like Dawn of the Dead or something on steroids or something like that. Like a bunch of people are
Yeah.
trapped
yeah,
and they're getting picked off one by one in these like horrible, gruesome ways by but it's so like hyper violent and fast paced. The editing
yeah.
is like just
Mhm.
one thing
Tony the
right after
Pimp.
another.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oh man,
He
yeah,
shows up in both the fucking movies too. I was like,
right. Yeah,
when
yeah.
I watched Demons 2, I was like, I forgot he's like the gym guy in Demons 2.
yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. You guys talk about Demons. I've seen Demons probably more than any of these
Oh
other
my
films.
gosh. Yeah, I've watched this thing. Like I can't remember. I was sitting there trying to remember what age I was when I first watched it cuz Uncle Bill said he was probably too young to be watching it when he did. I don't think I was that young. Because I think I got into like these Italian films, Italian horror in general, like it's sporadic times in my life. Like I've said this before, my dad always talked about the gates of hell. Him and my mom went to the drive-in and saw that. And I was
Mhm.
always envious that they got to go to the drive-in and see that movie. And my dad told me about, flying maggots and a guy getting his head drilled and all that. And I was like, oh my God, that's the greatest horror movie ever made. And so I continually searched that movie out. So then once I watched that, I wanted to watch everything that Fulci did. And, some of Fulci's stuff is great. Some of it's just and some of it's awful. So then uh, I got into Argento next, I think, because I think Suspiria was probably either Suspiria or Deep Red. I can't remember exactly which one was the first one I watched. And then once I watched a lot of Fulci and then I watched a lot of Argento, I started wanting to seek out these other Italian horror filmmakers. And I think right about that time was probably when I started seeing Lamberto Bava's stuff. So I think it was a little bit, probably quite a bit later for me than it was Uncle Bill. Um, but
Well,
yeah,
the thing about this movie, and I think I saw this movie before I saw any Argento film, just because
wow.
this
Mhm.
movie was incredibly popular on VHS.
Yeah,
And when I was growing
Mhm.
up, like you couldn't get away from this movie in VHS because it was everywhere at any video store or anything like that. So, dad rented it and we watched it probably when I would say 7 or 8 years old. And
Oh, wow.
it, it's something that I can still remember being terrified by this movie. Like
Mhm.
anybody, I mean, I'm sure everybody knows, but the plot of the movie is basically like this group of people go to this theater. While they're at the theater, they get these special tickets to go to the theater. While at the theater, like one of them gets cut by this mask, and it's apparently like a possessed kind of mask
I
that
think it's like
turns.
a big nod to Mario Baba though. The
Oh
mask
yeah, from
from
Mhm.
Black Sunday.
that's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah,
Mask of the Demon.
yep.
The Italian title.
And then they turn into a demon. And then
Right.
Greta's in this, and she's the one that turns into a demon. And of course, she's in two of the Bruno Mattei films I was talking about. So she was huge, apparently, around that time in Italian films.
Mhm.
Um, but what makes it great is once the action starts happening in this movie, like it never
Yeah.
stops throughout the entire.
The pacing is
Yeah.
insane. It's great.
So once the demons come about, then everybody in the theater is basically just kind of cannon fodder. Like they all just get like mangled and killed, like one right after, including like a blind man. There's another damn blind man.
Yeah,
in this
another
movie.
blind one. And
Like
he
a
going to the theater.
little kid, like
He's the only one that's, and see, that says something, right? The blind man knows that there's something wrong with that mask.
that's right.
Everybody
Yeah.
else,
Mhm.
you know, he's like, don't touch that. You
Yeah.
know, how's he know? But then they're
But
talking about Nostradamus and shit on the movie.
that's
You know?
right. That's right.
But
But the best part about this movie to me is the practical makeup effects. Like
Oh yeah.
they
Yeah.
were great, even for like somebody like K&B or something like that. They were really great. They look different. They have that Italian look to it, which is hard to explain exactly. The skin tones and stuff look a certain way in Italian.
veins and
Yeah,
stuff, like
yeah,
painted. It was, I guess that was all hand brushed, everything just a lot
yeah.
And
more.
the transformation scenes are actually they're absolutely terrifying to
They
watch.
are.
Yeah, that shit still holds up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, there's the scene in the beginning where she falls out onto the theater floor or whatever like that, and she's transforming into a demon, and her teeth and shit come out, and like the
Yeah.
teeth
Mhm.
come down, and the nails come out, and all that stuff. And that's still amazing to watch, like the way that they did that. It's kind of like American Werewolf in London style kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like
Right.
in camera
Yep.
effects like that.
That was going on right then too. That's like puts me in the vibe of Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
And the
But,
demon design of the demons themselves is great. Like just the look of them and everything. Like they're not zombies and they're
no,
not like
but it's contagious.
ghouls. Yeah,
Like
but
a
they it's like a whole other thing though.
right. Yeah. Uh, you ever thought of if he got inspired from the Evil Dead? Did you ever?
I
Have you
hadn't
ever
thought of
thought?
that, but it has the same kind of pacing
Yeah.
as the Evil Dead.
Yeah, I was wondering that on this last watch because we just did Demons 2 on the Eurocult, so um, yeah.
Yep.
So I went back and watched them both recently, and I was thinking that watching this go around, I was like, damn, there's some of this stuff is kind of like the Evil Dead in a way. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean you're right. I hadn't ever really thought about it that way, but it is very much like the way that it's filmed and the pacing and everything is very much like that. Yeah.
Right.
So Dana, what are your thoughts?
I absolutely love this film. This is a film too that I can watch multiple times throughout the year. I don't have to wait like 3 to 5 years in between watching. I'll be like just out of the blue, oh, it's a good time for demons. Let's put this in and watch it because it's not, sometimes people watch movies just at certain movies just at Halloween time or just, and some people might think that this is a fall type Halloween type of movie, but heck, I can watch it anytime. I can watch it in the spring, I can watch it in the summer, watch it the fall, winter. I
Yeah, I
don't
could,
care.
if it's on, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's just one of them kind of movies,
Yeah.
And
And
oh,
it's
go ahead.
just an incredible movie. I would have to disagree with Peter North what he said in the chat.
I think that dude's just trying to like that dude's
Trying
what would
Oh,
you
no,
call
it's
him?
the best.
Like a shit stir. He just comes in and says like
yeah,
random stuff.
yeah. But yeah, I love this movie.
Name is fucking Peter North. What'd you expect? Like
Peter North.
Oh
shit.
man. Okay. But yeah, love this movie. Can watch it anytime. Don't really find anything faulty with this movie. Sometimes there are movies that will be really great, but they'll have one or two faults in them. But
Yeah.
I just cannot
What
pick
about
out
the
a fault.
What about the damn random helicopter just drop it in?
That's just great, though. That's great.
With a damn grappling hook,
That's
you
right.
know, in the damn helicopter.
Oh my god.
No, but I still love it. I mean, it's funny
I
though.
forgot about that. So
But
yeah, I
and
mean,
you got Nicolette Elmy. Is that how you say her name? Nicolette Elmy,
your guess is as good as mine on that one, Nick.
Yeah, I don't know.
the ticket taker.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The little girl from Deep Red. That's a little
Yeah,
redheaded from girl from Deep
exactly.
Red. The Night Child and shit like that. But she's all grown up in this one, looking all sexy and stuff in the mirror.
Yeah, C said she
Like,
grew
what
up
the
and she got hot.
Right.
Of course he did. Yeah, of course Steve did. Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
God.
man. I also was thinking too, man. I was like, I wonder if Robert Rodriguez got inspired from demons to make From Dusk Till Dawn. You know.
Well, a couple things about this movie too. Number one, it's got an awesome both original score and soundtrack.
Yeah.
So there's some great like metal shit, and then some
Oh,
great
yeah.
like just regular score in it. I love somebody brought this up, but I love the punk like gang that's in the film just randomly that comes in like
Yeah.
into the theater. Although they don't seem like they would belong like
It was
together and
just
whatsoever.
like some side shit that didn't pan out.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's just just trying to put interesting people in situations to be killed. Like that seems to be the major theme of the film.
Right.
But it's the way that they kill people in this movie that's what makes it so brutal. Like there's just the way that the death scenes play out. Like they're not, like a zombie film, you just kind of get bitten or something or ripped in half. But in this one, you get like torn apart,
Right.
basically. Like
Mhm.
that's,
Yeah.
But-
McKelly Suave in this one too.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's in the damn movie that's in the movie, and then then he's also the Phantom of the Opera looking metal face dude.
Which that was always a weird character too. I mean, I appreciated it, but
Yeah,
just odd.
just random, just come up, hand people tickets.
Yeah. So here,
go ahead.
so I'm assuming then it was a conspiracy, right? Like that they knew about it. They were trying to get people in there to like kill them all. It's not just a random. But here's the weird part about that: doesn't he get killed in the film?
Mm-hmm.
So if he's in on the fucking conspiracy to get people in to come into this demons, turn them into demons or whatever, then he just fucked himself over. Like, so I never really understand that part of it.
I guess he was sacrificing himself for the cause or something. I don't know.
Could be, yeah.
That's one of the unanswered questions, I guess.
Yeah. So let's see.
The movie's to blame. You remember that? The movie's to blame. Stop the movie. Smash everything. And then the blind guy gets up and he's like, "It's not the movie. It's the theater."
That's right. Look, a blind guy knows it all. Like he's in every Italian film, the blind guy always knows what's going on more so than anybody else.
I just wanted to bring up one of my all-time favorite scenes from that movie is when a bunch of the demons are actually coming down a dark hallway.
Oh yeah.
And this is a scary scene and their eyes are glowing. Oh my gosh, that is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
I cannot believe I forgot that, but you're exactly right. Then
that damn shot right there.
That shot, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the iconic. Yeah.
He really does a great job too of creating this atmosphere like you can't get away kind of feeling, like where you're trapped, in this theater and outside theater, and they're all around and like something is going to end up getting you. It's much like Night of the Living Dead, where they create a really good kind of claustrophobic feeling in this movie.
Right.
Justin Marino says this is his favorite film by Bava.
Oh yeah.
The Mayor.
Definitely mine, for sure.
Mayor says was definitely the first film of his I saw, and it was the only Bava film I saw in the theater. Well, that would be amazing.
Damn. Okay.
That'd be cool.
Cinemark.
I didn't get to do that.
That would have been awesome. Yeah.
I was too busy watching E.T. or some shit, you know.
Another blind man. Yeah, I was too. Kind of thinking around that time period. Alfa Romero says the look of the demons in this are very similar to the monsters from my childhood nightmares. Yeah.
Oh man.
The soundtrack is phenomenal, says Alfa Romero for both Demons films. In Birmingham says he loves the punk gang, the only punks who ever like to listen to Go West. I forgot about that. Let's see. Demon Baby.
I'll be right back, y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Back for Blood says, so has the father, like the son question been answered? I think A Bad Blood may be the only Mario Bava movie I've seen, and I hate it. Also, to anyone claiming the 2-time impalement was stolen by the makers of Friday 13 Part 2, it was in the Book of Numbers in the Bible thousands of years before that. Okay. Well, that's enough of that. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I don't think that was in the Bible, but maybe it was. Who knows?
I haven't claimed to read all the Bible, so it's possible, I guess.
You remember that from the Bible where Jesus stabs 2 people through a bed with a
No.
I
Don't ever
forgot
remember
about that, and that was Deuteronomy or something I missed.
Maybe it was Revelations.
Yeah, it was one of them chapters. And Jesus came forth with a spear and the fornication of the innocent.
I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but is this going to turn into like some biblical lesson for us?
No, because I'll just fucking remove them if it does. God. All right. So Demons 2. Alfa Romero, wait a minute. Alfa Romero says the splitter through the eye scene in Zombie was in the Bible too. And then the mayor says, everybody's jumping on this. It's great. It's Old Testament, the Book of Impalements. Oh God. Justin Marino says that the recent Synapse release for both Demons movies is amazing. I dig the golden ticket. I've got the Arrow one. I don't know which version you got.
I have the Synapse version, but I'm not saying that everybody's going to run into this, and it may just be that there's something that I need to clean off of the Demons 2 disc.
I got the blue. The blue.
Yeah.
This is the 4K, and Steve and I tried watching my Demons 2 because he's got the Arrow release, and it got to the part where the 2 people are trapped in the elevator, and it started messing up. It started freezing and doing all kinds of stuff. So I'm hoping it just needs a cleanup of the disc or something.
Yeah. Those 4Ks are pretty sensitive. It might just be clean, you know.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Listen. I can't get away from this. Some of these comments are too great. Okay. So then we've got the follow-up film, which people fall into one of 2 camps with this movie. They either really do not like it or they think it's just as good as the original. So we'll see what camp that we all fall into. Demons 2. I put Demons, Lord God. Demons 2 from 1986, which they just remade, and it was called Evil Dead Rise. You may have seen it.
So does that mean you hate Demons 2, Uncle Bill?
No, I actually really like Demons 2. I just really hate Evil Dead Rise. God, what a bizarre, like, you ever sit and wonder though, like, what in the hell, when you're trying to come up for an idea for a sequel, like, how does this become the idea? Like, it would have been such a simple, yeah, such a simple movie to just like pick up where it left off. But no, they went a whole different direction with Demons 2. So Demons 2 is like there's a group of people in a high rise, and one of them is Sally, which is Corlina Cataldi Tassani, and she's having a birthday party. But while she's having a birthday party, there's this show that is on TV that everybody's watching about the original fucking demons.
Yeah, everybody watching that shit in the apartment building.
Yeah, so it must be like, Geraldo breaking into the fucking Al Capone's vault of that time period or something. And it gets to a scene where one of the demons comes back to life in the show.
Yeah.
But he comes through the TV into the high rise and attacks Sally and turns her into I never really understood what the fuck they were doing with that, but that's what happens. And it's really, that's all you really need, I guess, just for the setup for everybody to be stuck in this high rise and to get mauled by a bunch more demons, which is exactly what happens, really. A horrible setup for a movie, but the payoff is basically exactly the same.
Yeah. No, the little kid demon is great.
Yeah.
And the dog transformation.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
So that was like a little dwarf.
And you get
he was a kid and a dwarf.
Yeah, I think so. You also get a very young Aja Argento.
Yeah.
That was weird to see that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that his other daughter was in the first Demons.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't
know. What's her name? I had it wrote down. Fiora.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. She was the one that was making out with the teenage couple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's his other daughter.
So, I mean, really, there's no difference in Demons 1 and Demons 2 other than the fact that one takes place in a high rise and one takes place in a movie theater. Like, they're basically the exact same film after it gets started, because not only are they the same film, but there's the same people. Like you said, the guy that plays the pimp is now like a fucking gym teacher or something in this one.
Right.
Yeah. And I was just kind of like, that's just insane. But he's got the same, that can't be his real voice, right? Like, that's just the same dub.
No, he's French, isn't he?
Is he? I don't know.
I thought Steve told me he was French.
Okay.
Whoever the actor is, they got to dub his voice is fucking amazing.
That was great.
Yeah, I did. I found out that they said that this was the first film to get an X rating without nudity.
Oh wow.
I was like, what the hell?
That's weird too, because I didn't think it was that much more graphic than Demons, really.
There's too graphic violence by the MPAA. The transformation scenes and shit, I guess they were saying.
Huh.
But I don't know.
There's a really to me, one of the really coolest scenes in the movie too is when she comes out of the room and she's at the birthday cake and everything, and then she transforms into the demon like right in front of him and then starts going crazy. That's just a great overall scene. And you mentioned the dog scene too, Dana, which is great. There's a lot of good scenes in this movie.
Yeah, you got the damn glowing eyes on the dog, and
yeah, a lot of hilarious stuff that happens in this movie too.
Why is Sally blind at the end of the damn movie though? Like, I was trying to figure that one out. Like,
did something get sprayed in her eyes at one point?
Did she? Did it?
I seem to remember something. I don't
remember
know exactly what it was.
Pregnant chick threw acid on one of them, but it wasn't Sally.
I think she threw that on the little kid.
Yeah. It was a little kid trying to get in.
But you got to have little kid demons that get acid thrown on them, or it's not an
That
Italian horror film.
that's something we talked about on your
Right.
cult though,
Yeah.
was why would people just have random containers
Acid.
of
Yeah.
acid in their
Just got
house
the
or they're
emergency.
in their
You don't
apartment?
have fucking container of acid in there,
Yeah,
Dana? I
just
got one in.
emergency shit.
Yeah,
Nope.
you know, in case you need to dissolve something really quick. Oh God. I just listen. This is just we're just talking about demons too. We're not really talking about the Bible right now. You
No.
know, yeah. Maybe that would be best for another forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another good point too. The leader of the gang is actually the apartment building security guy in Demons 2.
Ooh.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and he was in a
can't-
bunch of.
Yeah, I've seen him a lot. He's like he's in that damn Delirium too. You know.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
He's a detective.
Yep.
I can't think
Oh,
of his
this is the scene right here though. That's kind of like the class.
Yeah.
The gremlin that comes out of that kid's stomach. Yeah. That kind of defines Demons 2 for me, really.
name. Right.
So I don't know. I remember when I first watched Demons 2, I didn't put it up there very high. I thought it was kind of like a poor imitation of the first one. But nowadays, like go back and watch it, and it's good.
I had read some reviews where people were saying what a ripoff, and I'm thinking, well, that's the same damn people that made it. How are you gonna say that shit? It's a ripoff.
Exactly. Well, you were talking about like Evil Dead. It's kind of like if it's like Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2, you know, in a way, like they were just taking the same idea basically and trying to like spice it up even more so, I think, in this one.
Yeah.
Like make
The
it
music-
gorier. And
I do like the score in this one, but you know, you can't beat Demons 1.
no, that movie is just, there's something about it that's classic. And in Birmingham says that he also loves the workout guys and the black dude with the mutton chops. So yeah, that is a big part of the love for this film. I'm glad you're digging this series, Justin. There's going to be plenty more where that came from. Carter Dimension, who is supposed to be doing Joe D'Amato with me, but fuck that up. Just says that Treat Williams died. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. From Treat Williams, you might know him best from Dead Heat. Anybody?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
But we didn't even touch on the garage.
I was going to ask about that.
That's the damn biggest part of the whole damn movie. The garage stunts and shit. And then all the demons are surrounding. We mentioned this the other day, but all the demons are surrounding Aja Argento. And she sees her dad fighting off the demons and shit. And he's a badass, you know, for a little bit. And then they just leave her alone. Like, you know, they just run away. They're all around. That's a terrifying scene, though, for probably a little kid to see, you know. But then they just leave her alone, run off and shit. So
it's weird. It's weird though, the shit that'll scare you when you're like a kid. Like the idea of that demon coming out of the TV screen always terrified me when I was a kid. Yeah. And then you watch it now and you're like, that's the dumbest shit ever. Like what would
it's pretty interesting how they did that though. The guy wore a mask and it's a latex screen.
Yeah.
And shit. So
I mean, it's a cool effect. It's just the idea of it. You know what I mean? Like
it looks silly as hell, but back then it didn't know. You know?
No. Back then that was like top of the line shit. Yeah. I also love the idea that she's just standing there and she thinks it's over with, and then she turns to the left and he's just like right there, like the demon is like in the room with her.
Yeah. And the fact that they do everything to try to kill that kid after he turns into a demon, and what finally kills him is an umbrella of all things. She pours acid and everything else on him, and that little gremlin thing is still going around until they get the umbrella after it.
How'd it go again, then? How'd the little gremlin go? Real quick.
I don't even remember what I said now. Oh man.
That gremlin is the best thing in Demons too.
Yeah, I mean, shit. They put him on the cover, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
Oh, so what do you guys rank Demons 2? Like, I mean, if you could rate it 1 to 10, what would you give it?
Demons 2, I give it
Yeah.
a 6.5. I'll do
That's
that.
pretty fair, yeah.
I'll go up a little bit further and say 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's right around there too. That would be where I would rank it. Like you said, once you get to the garage scene, there's stunts and shit galore and
Yeah,
like stuff
that's
going on and like
that's the great part. But and also they were gonna have a demon baby pop out of the pregnant chick.
that's
But
what I kept waiting on. Yeah,
I did too.
they changed it. They was like, oh, we better not do that. Let's make a happy ending. Like, what the hell?
well, hell, man. I mean, the Dawn of the Dead remake did it. They had one of the silliest looking like zombie babies of all time. So,
Oh yeah, yep.
so Super Batman Nerd gives it a 10. The Mayor gives it a 6.5. Matt just says that said kids can't survive in Italian horror films. That's true. Did we talk about how killer the Synapse 4Ks of Demons was? I don't have the Synapse 4Ks.
I don't got the 4K. I got the Blu-ray.
I've got.
I do have the 4K and like.
But the Blu-ray looks really damn good. So.
Yeah, I mean, what I was able to watch of Demons 2 and all of Demons look fantastic on the 4K.
Yeah.
Birmingham says he'd give it an 8. Hell yeah.
Damn it. What would you give the first Demons?
I would easily give that I give it a 9.
I'll give it a 10.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that movie.
I give it probably 8.5, something like around there. But yeah. 10s I gotta reserve.
Yeah, when I'm thinking of 10, I'm thinking of shit like Dawn of the Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. For me, like that's kind of stuff I'm thinking about. So
yeah, I'm thinking of Shining or TCM or The Exorcist.
Yeah. So the last film then that we're gonna do, is one that's not well known, I would say, by most people.
No,
but probably should be because it is also, for different reasons, just insane. The Mayor gives the first Demons 8.5 and Birmingham gives it an 8. But this one that we're going to talk about, is just a little slice of heaven, really. 1987. It is for us, Dana. Yeah. This is 1987's Delirium.
Yep.
Holy Lord.
Now I wrote down a bunch of stuff from Lamberto, what he had to say about the shit. But
give us that, Dirk. What did he have to say about this movie? I'm curious.
Well, so this originally was going to be Argento was supposed to do this movie, and it got scrapped. Like, well, Argento scrapped it. He was like, he didn't like the direction the script was going, so he was like, he told Lamberto, "Go ahead, you go, you do it."
So Lamberto was like the low rent, like go-to guy,
right?
Yeah. Okay,
but Lamberto, you know how these Italians guys, they just talk shit, about if they don't like somebody, they ain't gonna hold back. So he was talking about Serena Grande. He was talking about how she thought she was the best Italian actress in the world, and he said, well, she probably was because of the money she made, but she really wasn't that great of an actress. And but yeah, he goes on. He bashed the shit out of her. She wouldn't get up till noon, he said.
Oh my God.
So they had to do other scenes to wait for her, see, the way the killer sees women is very peculiar, and the light, that was the idea that he had, he said.
What was that idea exactly? I'm still trying to figure that shit out. Like, what is the idea behind that?
Right. Yeah, he didn't go into it too deep, you know.
No, I didn't imagine that he would have. So
big old eyeball and shit.
Yeah, anybody that hadn't seen this movie, from the killer's point of view, when he comes up on his victims, like they turn into these weird, like the lighting changes and shifts to this kind of like weird, glowing fluorescent kind of colors, and then like you see the person and they've got like a giant eyeball, just one eyeball as a head.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out, like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, if you were on acid or something and you watch this movie, you would probably have a heart attack because, like that, those scenes are just come out of nowhere like that. But
yeah, he also said she refused to do a bra and panty scene where the brother originally wanted the brother to rip it off.
Yeah.
But she had a problem with that, but he said she didn't have a problem doing porn.
Yeah.
But she had a problem because it was a thriller killer kind of movie, But I don't know. It's and he praised the shit out of Nickelodeon. She's a big time professional, and she can interpret. She helped with interpretations with people and stuff. And he was the scene in the bathroom with the bees. He was telling he had a walkie-talkie talking to his assistant director, and she still had her panties on. And he was screaming, and his walkie-talkie wouldn't work, so he started screaming at the assistant, "Take her panties off!" And he said there was a bunch of nuns on the other side of the wall watching him and shit. And he turned around and seen all the nuns. So I thought this shit was funny. But
one consistent thing about these movies, aside from the fact that all the endings of all these movies are fucking crazy, is they all seem to take place in like one location. I don't know if that's due to budget or if that's just like but they're all basically in one spot. Like every single one of these movies that we talked about, including this one. Really, I mean, there's a couple of other locations, but the main like house is the location that takes place the majority of the time. And I mean, this one reminded me of like, what's the Fulci movie? Was it Devil's Honey?
Yeah.
Like it kind of reminded me of that because it's just so like, it's so fucking sleazy. Like it's more of like
that's an erotic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a Euro trash kind of film.
Right.
Yeah. This one is kind of like, it gives you that same vibe. Like every 2 or 3 minutes, somebody's taking their clothes off in this movie. Like you will see boobs and all kinds of other things, which that's Dana's favorite part of this movie. We all know that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I watched this recently with Steve, and I was like, holy crap. What are we watching here?
I bet Steve got up to use the bathroom multiple times.
Which one you like better, Dana? This one or Fatal Frames?
I don't know. Probably Fatal Frames, even though Fatal Frames is not a good film by any stretch of the imagination. But there was more to keep me entertained. This was ultra sleazy, and I just couldn't get past all that, really.
Come on, Dana.
You got George Eastman in here, though.
Yeah, George Eastman is in it.
I mean, okay. Aside from the fact that it's like there's boobs every 2 or 3 minutes, it's got some really good good stuff in it. Yeah. The basic plot of the movie though is this. It's this woman runs this magazine, which is like a porno magazine almost, kind of like a Playboy-esque kind of magazine.
Right.
And, in the middle of this shoot, all this thing, all of a sudden, like these models start ending up dead, and the killer takes pictures of them and sends the pictures of them dead, like back to this woman's. That's the basic plot of the movie. So all these people start ending up dying around her. and you're trying to figure out like why exactly that is. I guess it's kind of like a giallo, but it's crazier than. It's not a typical giallo, really.
No,
Um,
it's like because it's 87, so it's kind of and like you could like what's she wearing that big old damn dog chain?
yes, yeah,
Like, it's a weird uh artistic late 80s style shit going on, you know.
yeah.
Very
There's
artsy,
some
artsy
questionable art, yeah, kind of outfits in this, yeah.
Right.
But for people that like this kind of thing, I will say that like,
I mean,
pretty much
I like it.
pretty
I'll see
much
it.
everybody in the film gets naked.
Mhm.
Every female that comes into this film gets naked, which again Dana loves. And it's why she seeks these movies out, folks, is for the nudity. And like, there's some really good like death scenes and things in it too, like a lot of good scenes. And again, the ending is fucking crazy. So there's also a character in the film who is basically obsessed with the lead and lives up in this like other part of some sort of apartment or something like that. And he's
Yeah, it's
always
like a villa, like
yeah,
where they
yeah.
live. Uh,
He's always just watching what's going on.
like some rear window type.
Yes,
But
exactly.
a pervert style rear window.
Yeah, exactly. Like and and not to give the ending away to this movie, but like when I saw the ending, I was like, that is great. Like that is exactly how this movie should have ended. And it's hilarious, like the way that it does it. But you mentioned Daria Nicolodi, and
Oh yeah.
she's great in it. She's in this movie as well. It's just I don't know. It's like a sleazier version of some of the other films that he's done with like a lot more nudity and some crazy, like you said, like the eyeball stuff.
Yeah.
I would love for somebody to answer me like where the hell that even came from. If anybody in this chat knows,
It's very psychedelic, like
yeah,
you
like
were saying. And also the bee scene where the chick's head's a big old bee and shit.
yes.
Oh,
Like,
man.
I mean, the name of the movie is Delirium, so I
Right.
guess like it could just be related to that idea. But if somebody,
sleep deprivation, delirium.
yeah, something like if somebody knows like where he got the idea for some of this shit, that I would love to hear the stories behind that too.
You want me to go try to wake up Steve? Maybe he can come back here and
No, you don't want to get
school you
screamed
on
at.
it. No, I don't.
We don't want to
I
get you
don't
killed.
really.
Like, Lord. Obviously, the mayor says, what? It's got something completely started here. Yeah, obviously. That's what it's from. So, Delirium was almost in the same category for me as like Devil's Honey. Like I said, I enjoyed it oddly, but it's not a film that everybody would enjoy by any stretch of the imagination. Like it's kind of insane.
It's probably a bigger budget, I would say, though, than than Devil's Honey.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's got a little bit more of an actual like
the bee stings and shit. Like some of that stuff looks pretty damn good.
yeah, and it's got an actual kind of like a horror film plot to it as well, as opposed to like Devil's Honey's more like an erotic. I don't even know.
Yeah.
just an excuse to show a bunch of sex scenes. If we're being honest.
Yeah. Get your sax on.
First time I saw that scene, I was like, "What in the fuck?" It's like,
yeah.
What am I in for with this? But yeah,
I got a buddy. That's his favorite Fulci film.
I guarantee it. That's Dana's favorite too, though. Dirk. Did you know it?
No, it's not. No,
she's wanting Steve to play sax. Good
I don't. It doesn't get quite that sleazy at our house. So
doesn't get quite that sleazy anywhere. I don't think, though.
I hope not. Anyway.
Uh, so I don't know. We've talked about a lot of great films, and if I were to put this up against like the rest of these films,
It's gonna be my least favorite.
yeah, it
for
would be
me.
mine too.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of the end of his career, really, too. If you look at the shit he does after this, like, I mean, he does more films, but none of them are even like remotely.
He remade Black Sunday too, right? But I never did watch
Oh,
it.
I didn't watch that either. No, I probably won't.
Right now.
There was one. What was it called? Shit, that looked like it had a semi decent budget that came out in the '90s, and I didn't. I thought about watching it, but then I was like, it's probably not going to be that great. It was Body Puzzle. Did you see this?
I've heard that's great.
Oh, I think Steve and I watched that, but it's been
I've
a
actually
while.
heard that that's really good, and I still haven't seen it. So,
Yeah, I haven't either. So I may watch that one. Then it's probably going to be on one of these crazy ass channels like Tubi or something. But between Tubi and that Freevee channel, like you can pretty much watch any Italian horror film that you want to. Like,
yeah, it's a crazy time that we're living in.
it is.
Instantaneous, everything.
So Jack Frost wants to know which is Steve's favorite.
Like out of these ones we talked about tonight, or between
I'm not sure.
Delirium and Devil's Honey?
Out of Lamberto Bava, I'm guessing.
Yeah. He'd probably go with one of the Demons movies, probably the first one, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, Demons for me out of these. But like I said, I still think his best scene out of anything, period, is in Inferno.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that, like I said, that's like one of my favorite just scenes of any horror film in general. Matt wants to know which of his films would you say is the most underrated? I'd say Macabre, actually.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was going to say.
Nobody ever talks about that movie, but it's great. Shock, I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, Shock is
now Shock. If you consider, if you consider that like a Lamberto Bava movie,
but it's really
like a combination.
Yeah, it's kind of like a father-son project, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. Steve.
Oh man, Steve dug his own grave mentioning all those great films.
He really did. Darren says Body Puzzle is a blast. Okay, well, we're gonna have to watch Body Puzzle then at some point.
Yeah, I need to check it out. Yeah, for sure.
Is there any film on here? Because he had a couple other ones like Devilfish that I have never seen. Any other ones on here that any of you guys have seen that you would recommend? Because Devilfish seemed to me to be like a Jaws ripoff. And then he's got one called You'll Die at Midnight, which I did not watch, which is in the 80s. Blast Fighter. Blast Fighter.
What is it?
It's called Blast Fighter, which kind of looks like, I don't know. No idea. And that's really it in terms of like movies that he's done.
I'm trying to see. I thought he did way more than that.
I think there was a lot of TV or something on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of miniseries and TV and things like that on here.
See, I put it in Lamberto and they pulled up Mario. What the hell?
But actually, the last.
I guess he did work on Rabid Dogs too with Mario, because he that's got to be one of Mario's last movies. I highly recommend Rabid Dogs. Yeah, kidnapped, aka rabid dogs. That's a
This
big time sleazy ass movie.
But there's a
this
lot of them in this.
It's kind of like
this
Last House on the Left on the road, on a road trip.
Oh,
mm,
Keno has Blast Fighter and Devilfish. Listen, I'm gonna have to go to Keno tonight and buy a ton of this shit that I don't have.
I noticed that Matt asked about Marnie, which is a Hitchcock film. I
Right.
did watch that one
Yeah.
pretty recently when
Marnie's
Kelly
good.
and I were doing that. Yeah, Marnie was really
You
good.
got Tippy Hedren from The Birds
Mm-hmm.
is in that one.
Yeah. Well, that is good, Super Batman nerd. There will be many more of these shows to come with many other Italian horror film directors. I didn't realize this, but Ogre is actually AKA Demons 3. But it
Yeah.
has nothing to do with the other two.
Right. And there's a Black Demons film too.
Oh, I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah. How many did they make? 5 or 6 of them, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Like
Anyway,
5
we got a request. Hold on a second.
Oh, good Lord.
Let me see if I can find this. Okay. We got a request from Justin real quick. Shut up!
Damn, that was loud in my headphones.
I had to do it. It was requested, Dana. You understand that.
Ugh.
But I guess that's it, guys. I mean, that's Lamberto Bava, the majority of his films in a nutshell. I think, so far I've just done 2 of these. I've done Bruno Mattei and Lamberto Bava. Clearly, Lamberto Bava is the more talented filmmaker. But, it depends on what you're looking for. Bruno Mattei's films are incredibly entertaining. They're just obvious, like direct rip-offs of other films.
Yeah.
Bava is a little bit more, nuanced and a little bit better of a overall director.
He's had nothing but greatness around him.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Think about that. I mean, your dad, Mario Bava, and then Argento's got you. Hey, be the second unit guy for me.
And the guy, like you said, he made some great stuff.
Yeah.
Justin, I am going to do Umberto Lenzi. I'm going to do Joe D'Amato. I'm going to do Umberto Lenzi. I'm going to do Rogério Deodato. I'm sure there'll be some other ones too, but those are the ones I can think of, like off the top of my head, that I know we're going to do. But yeah, do you guys have any thoughts about Bava other than what we've talked about?
Yeah, I need to check out his other stuff though. Like Body Puzzle, I've done heard several times. That movie keeps coming up, so I need to make that happen. I need to change that.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to watch that after this, actually. Trying to find it anyway.
Right.
I know one thing. I'm going to be getting that Blade in the Dark 4K.
Yeah, me too.
Miss out on that.
I got it coming. Whenever Vinegar Syndrome decides to ship, they take their sweet time for me. I don't know if it's where
they do for me too.
Yeah.
Yes, Mayor, I'm doing. That's another one that I forgot about too. Michele Soavi.
Yeah, man. Oh, he's got a ton of. I mean, he's got some good shit.
Yeah,
he wasn't that great of an actor, but he had some key little roles in these movies.
He did. Yeah, yes, he did.
He
was
asking if I've seen the remake of Rabid Dogs. I've never seen that. Yeah,
I haven't even seen that either. Sergio Martino. Yep, I'm going to be doing that one too, Matt. So, by the way, on these shows, I'm trying to alternate and do different co-hosts like each time. So, if anybody in the chat is interested in doing any of these upcoming shows, then let me know. I also will let anybody on that have done past shows too. So we can get as many people on here as humanly possible. I just want to, get anybody that wants to do a particular director if they want to do it as well. So for instance, like if Umberto Lenzi's your guy or whatever, and you want to get on here, then just let me know. Or Deodato. Deodato is a big favorite for a lot of people because of Cannibal Holocaust and Body Count and
right.
a lot of those movies. So
Have you ever checked out Massimo Dallamano?
No.
Yeah, he's the Schoolgirls in Peril trilogy, like the What Have You Done with Solange?
Oh fuck yeah, I've seen that
Oh,
movie.
What,
I didn't know
what Have
he.
They Done to Your Daughters?
Forgot about that. Yeah.
And the Red Rings of Fear. That's a trilogy.
What that? I had no idea that was a guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, he's got more than that too, though. He's got the Black Veil for Lisa. Um, he's got several, but I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Oh yeah. So Matt says Solange is top tier, and he also says he wants to pop in for Martino. Okay. Well, yeah, man. Like I said, whoever wants to pop in for any of these, if that's your guy, then we will do it. Oh well, this thing's driving me nuts.
Yeah, Solange is one of probably in my top 5. Jolly for sure.
So next week will be Joe D'Amato. So I think Carter should have a new television by then. And if not, we're still just going on with Joe D'Amato. If anybody wants to be on that show, he had some really good films, some really like crazy films. Anthropophagus, of course, probably being the most infamous
Yeah,
of all those. Yeah, absurd. Yeah. So anybody wants to get in on that one, that they're welcome to come too. But Dirk, I know you do like several different things. You do the Euro Cult podcast and you do your own show and stuff too. You got anything coming up?
Yeah. Well, Saturday we're gonna be talking about top 5 slashers with Giallo elements.
Hmm.
Oh,
Interesting.
nice.
On my channel, it's called An Hour to Kill is the show, but it always lasts longer than an hour. It's kind of like the names of an Italian movie, you know.
Yeah.
It never matches what the hell you're watching.
So that'll be awesome. Dana, you're doing a show, I know. So tell me what's going on. What you got next?
Well, tomorrow night, barring anything happening, I think I'm going to start my summer camp slashers, and I'm hoping that this will be like several streams.
Mhm.
And I have to credit, I don't know if Darren's still in here or not. I have to credit Darren with giving me the idea, because he was talking about he was going to start watching, or had already started watching, a bunch of summer camp slashers. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So Wes would kill me if I didn't mention this, though, that on Sunday is our big Arrow show. So we're going to be doing the big Arrow year 1, like their releases from year 1. Starting off on that show will be
Shit.
Father's Day.
That's an undertaking.
That's gonna be a. I don't. He just likes to start these shows that last like 2 years. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Just
There's
go
a
on
lot
and
to
on.
go through on that.
Yeah.
Arrow. Hell yeah.
So that'll be coming up, and then of course, like every Monday at 10, there'll be a new one of these shows with a new Italian horror film director. And D'Amato will be next. Like I said, who knows who'll be next after that? I haven't figured out the order of it per se, except for that one. Anybody's welcome to come on though if you want to, and if you have an interest in any of these directors. But again, I thank everybody in the chat for coming in here, taking part in this. We're gonna keep doing this until we run out of directors, I guess. And I thank Dana, of course, Evil Dead Chick. Check her out on YouTube. Dark Subjective Perspective Collective. Check him out.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, you guys have been awesome. I appreciate it. And I am going to take us out of here, and we will see you guys later.
Give us the thumbs up.
Up you butts.
Like, subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right? And it'll notify you anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do.
I want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you dare touch it.
Thumbs up, subscribe, and click that bell.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. Dead Pit on Patreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.